The room is pitch black, barely illuminated by a single flickering bulb. Sara lies unconscious on the cold, hard floor, her hands and feet tied. She slowly regains consciousness, her eyes fluttering open. She looks around, terrified. The room is filled with old, dusty furniture. A small gate creaks open in front of her. The old man from the road enters. His hands are stained with fresh blood, and he carries a small bag. Sara quickly closes her eyes, pretending to be asleep. The old man exits through the gate. Sara watches through slitted eyes. He drags Criss into the room by his arms, his body limp. The old man throws him roughly into a corner. Sara trembles in fear. The old man places his bag on a table. He takes out old cards and yellowed papers, arranging them neatly. Then, he pulls a handgun from his jacket and places it beside the papers. He walks to a cupboard, retrieves a small axe, and slowly wipes the blade with his clothes. He suddenly stops and stares directly at Sara. Sara instantly shuts her eyes tight. The old man walks closer, his footsteps echoing. He seems to know she is awake. Sara doesn't dare to open her eyes. When she finally looks, the old man is gone. The light bulb flickers erratically. Sara sits up silently, tears streaming down her face. Criss lies motionless nearby. Suddenly, a voice echoes from outside a woman's voice, distorted and haunting. Is anyone there? Sara looks under the door and sees the hem of a long, black dress sweeping the floor outside. The voice grows louder, then softer, as if the woman is searching. Sara frantically struggles against her bonds. Her hands remain tied, but her feet come loose. She crawls desperately towards Criss, shaking him and sobbing. After a long struggle, she gives up on her hands. She stands on shaky legs. She looks around, then notices a broken window pane. She tries to climb out, but a shard of glass slices deep into her foot. She bites her lip to stifle a scream, crying silently in pain. She jumps out. The house is decrepit, a dusty sofa, dirty dishes in the kitchen. She steps outside and finds herself in a dense, dark jungle. A faint light glows in the far distance. As she stands there, she hears a rustling behind her. She turns and sees a woman standing on the roof of the house. Her body is mangled, blood dripping from her hands and feet, her face horribly burnt. The woman begins to grow taller, her form becoming more monstrous. Sara backs away in terror. The woman lets out a piercing scream that echoes through the trees. Sara turns and runs blindly into the jungle. She feels a presence chasing her. She glances back. The woman is running after her, and naturally fast. The jungle grows thicker, branches clawing at her. Suddenly, the ground gives way. She is at the edge of a cliff, about to plummet down. A hand grabs her arm, pulling her back. She and the old man tumble onto the ground. He puts a finger to his lips, his eyes wide with warning. He covers her mouth. They hear footsteps approaching the cliff edge. The woman looks down, laughs a hollow, grating laugh, and moves away, believing Sara has fallen. They hide for a long time. When Sara's breathing steadies, the old man whispers, "Do you remember what I told you?" Sara just stares into his weary eyes. The old man stands, slinging the axe over his shoulder. "Come with me." Terrified, Sara gets up and follows. The old man says, "I don't know when this will end. How are you two still alive?" Sara asks, "What time is it, old man?" "It's 3 a.m. What you're thinking is impossible. You can't leave. Do you even remember where you came from?" He continues, "Listen carefully. You must stay here until sunrise. Her power is strongest in the darkness. That woman has become a demon. You can try to survive, but I cannot guarantee you live. And what about him? Are you just going to leave him? Sara breaks down. Criss, oh Criss, she sinks to the ground, sobbing. Old man, come with me. We'll save Criss. I live here anyway. Sara, can she not harm you? Old man, perhaps not. I've been here a long time. I tried to save her once. I brought her to that very room where you were. She never enters that room. Criss is safe for now, but nothing is certain. I told you, she is like a devil now. If you can survive a few more hours, you might win. They walk back towards the house, stopping a short distance away. Old man, now I must go, or I will die with you both. Sara looks at him, shocked. The old man takes an ancient locket from his pocket and presses it into Sara's hand. Old man, this is for Criss. It's all I can do. Sara looks at the locket, then clutches it tightly. With newfound determination, she walks towards the house. Sara enters the room. Criss is still lying on the floor. She kneels beside him. Sara, Criss, get up. We have to go, Criss. Wake up, Criss. Criss groans in pain, coughing. Sara sprinkles water on his face. Suddenly, Criss's eyes focus on the wall behind Sara. Something is smoldering, burning upwards. Criss tries to speak, but can only point weakly. His face a mask of pain and terror. Criss, behind you. The wall. A loud crackle of fire erupts. Sara spins towards the window, then back to the wall. A woman is hanging upside down in the corner, her feet twisted like an animal's, her fingers dug into the wood. The woman lifts her head, revealing a burnt, elongated face with deep wrinkles, a gaping mouth, and large, sharp teeth. She stretches out a long, black tongue and unleashes a deafening, inhuman scream. Sara collapses to the floor. Criss clutches his throat, gasping, as if an invisible force is choking him. He is lifted into the air. Sara screams, "Let him go! Let him go!" Criss is thrown against a cupboard, slumping to the ground. Sara grabs the gun from the table, aims at the woman on the wall, and fires. The gunshot is loud. The pistol recoils violently from Sara's hand, falling to the floor. Her arm goes numb. Criss watches, horrified, as the woman crawls down the wall like a spider, moving calmly towards Sara. The woman grabs Sara and holds her against the wall. Sara hits hard and slides down, dazed. The woman pushes her hair back. Criss sees a bullet wound on her neck, bleeding profusely. She smiles a grotesque smile at Criss. She picks up a knife from the table and advances toward him. Sara shouts, "Criss." Criss looks at Sara. She throws the locket towards him. He catches it. The woman stops dead in her tracks. She stares at the locket, then begins to shriek madly, clutching her head. Criss holds the locket out towards her. The woman recoils, confused and enraged. Criss seizes the moment to rush to Sara's side. The woman, now furious, glares at Sara with pure hatred, then suddenly turns and scurries out of the room. Criss and Sara embrace. Criss is bleeding heavily from a wound on his head. "Criss, let's get out of here. Sara, we're going to die. We can't escape." "Criss, Sara, please, get up." He helps her to her feet. Holding hands, they stumble out of the room. Criss holds the gun, keeping Sara behind him. They see a car parked nearby. They get in. Criss searches frantically for the keys. A faint, distorted love song begins to play from the back seat.
La 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 la.
They freeze. Criss looks back. The seat is empty. He leans over and looks again. The woman is lying under the back seat, singing softly. One hand is clawing at the bullet hole in her neck, tearing it open. Blood pours down her dress. She looks up at Criss and smiles. In a flash, her arm shoots out and grabs Sara's hair, yanking her head back. Criss tries to pry her fingers open, but his own hand sizzles and burns as if touching acid. He cries out and pulls away. He kicks her arm repeatedly. Sara screams as clumps of her hair are ripped out. A voice shouts from outside, "Get out of the car." Criss looks the old man standing a distance away, aiming his rifle at the car. "Criss, stop. Let her go." The old man shouts again, "Get back. Now." Criss, no. The woman uses her other hand to start digging her nails into Sara's leg. Sara cries out in agony. Criss remembers the locket. He pulls it out. The woman shrieks and loosens her grip on Sara's hair. Sara jerks free, leaving a handful of hair in the woman's clutches. Criss and Sara scramble backwards, falling onto the ground. The old man fires his rifle. A massive explosion rocks the car as it ignites. The woman is engulfed in flames inside the vehicle. Her form shifts violently between the woman and a monstrous shape, her screams echoing horribly. Sara and Criss lie on the ground, watching the inferno. The old man stands silently, watching them. Criss tears a strip from his shirt and bandages Sara's bleeding leg. She shivers uncontrollably. The sky begins to lighten with the first hints of dawn. The old man approaches. Sara looks at him with tear-filled eyes and whispers, "Thanks, you helped us." The old man presses his lips together and gives a single, slow nod. He turns and walks back into the house. Sara and Criss sit in stunned silence. As the sun rises, Criss says, "Let's go." The old man emerges from the house carrying the bag from the table. He walks to the burning car and empties the bag's contents, old photos, money, documents into the flames. "Criss, what is all that, old man?" It was their things. He points to the locket around Criss's neck. That belonged to her husband-to-be. Sara picks up a photo that landed near her. Beautiful young woman posing happily with a man, his arm around her. Another photo shows them looking lovingly at each other. Tears well in Sara's eyes. Criss helps her stand, supporting her. Sara picks up one photo, crying softly. The old man takes it from her and throws it into the fire. Sara and Criss begin to walk away. They turn back for one last look at the old man. They get into their own car. Criss starts the engine with difficulty. Sara is pale and weak. Finally, the car starts. They reach out and hold each other's hands tightly as the car moves forward. Sara looks at Criss. The locket now hangs around his neck. She looks at the remaining photo in her hand. As she goes to throw it out the window, she notices writing on the back in faded blue ink, "Loving memory, Sara and Criss."